So good to have you all here today. Oh, forgive my out of breath. I just hiked from there. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kelsey. We are in Sagunto today in Spain. I feel like these past couple days, all I've done is hike. So it's nice to see some familiar faces. Welcome, Robin. Welcome, Adrian. Welcome, Gail. Welcome, Chelsea and Amy. My name is Kelsey. Do let me know where you are tuning in from today. And if you have ever been to Sagunto or in the Valencia region of Spain, I'll give you the good view before we officially start. It just started to rain. That's weird. So welcome, everyone. Welcome from Brooklyn. Never been to Spain at all. Okay. Good. So if this is one of your first tours with Hago, welcome. And in terms of using the platform, you can see all of the comments popping up there on the right, or I guess if you're in the app, it's down below. And then also there is a map so you can see where we are in Spain. And then there's the postcard option as well, which means you can basically take pictures from my lens, so it won't be any kind of grainy whatsoever. You'll be able to see what I'm seeing. Welcome, everyone. All right, so greetings from upstate New York in the US. Hola. Hi from Boston. Never been, only been to the Costa del Crime, or, well, okay, interesting. Hello from Canada. Good morning from Nebraska. Well, welcome, everyone. So happy to have you all here today. We are in Sagunto, which is in Spain. Just a little bit about me. I'm originally from Portland, actually, but then I went to school in Chicago. So I was trained as an opera singer, which is how I realized I like to travel. So a few years ago, my husband and I moved to Germany so I could sing. And then I sang in Italy for a little bit. And then I ended up teaching English and German and French in Croatia, France, the Netherlands, England. And then we came back to the States right before COVID. But a couple months ago, my husband and I moved back to Spain, and we are living now full-time and hopefully permanently in Valencia, and we are absolutely loving it. So, been to Spain, not to Sagunto. Welcome, everyone. If you are just joining, my name is Kelsey, and we are in Sagunto in Spain today. So, now that the tour has officially started, let's flip this around. Now that you've seen me, hello, welcome. So happy to have you here today. So let me flip this around and show you where we are. We are at the very, very top of the mountain. And actually, let me show you the good panoramic view before we dig in. So here is Sagunto. Sagunto, basically the entire city is ruins. This, of course, down here is the modern city. The Jewish quarter is right here. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. And then you can see the castle walls here on your right. These are what we are going to explore today. Also a little bit of the Roman theater and the Jewish cemetery. This is the main downtown area, though, where everyone who lives in Sagunto, this is where they live. I'm just going to back up here a little bit. As you can see out here, we've got a whole lot of orange trees and lemon trees and mandarin trees and olive trees. So we have a Mediterranean diet in this part of Spain. It is very windy here today. We have wind warnings. We have a lot of flights canceled and delayed. So forgive me if my camera goes flying away. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to do that. But that is the wind that you are hearing. So we are at the, here we go. We are at the castle of Sagunto. Wow, the wind is really throwing my gimbal around here. So this castle was built about 2,500 years ago. We are going to go inside actually and see what some of the Roman ruins, the Moorish ruins, the Iberian ruins that we can find here. This part of Sagunto is about 600 feet up, and as you can see, it is not very well secured. So this is some of the edges that are blocked off, but the tourists will not be deterred. Alas, we will not be going on the edge, but the folks over there do seem to be a little bit braver than I am to go around the fences. Yes, okay, so in terms of the fences, these are originally from the Islamic rule of this. Let's get inside here and then we'll have a little bit of a better view. I just wanted to show you the crazy tourists. Here is one of our main gates that we have, and we are in the Plaza de San Fernando right now. This castle was originally built, again, about 2,500 years ago. It's basically 7 sections, and we are going to focus on 2 of them today. Because these are, yeah, wow, audience from all around the world. That's awesome. Here are some of the walls that were built in the 700s when the Moors took over. But this castle has a special sort of intense history, I guess I could say. Let's get in here so I can tell you a little bit more. Just in terms of background, while we get to our one of the cool locations that I am so excited to show you. We're about 30 miles, or I guess 30 kilometers and 20-ish miles north, or I think it's 16 miles north of Valencia, which is where I am currently living. This is a very Mediterranean part of the world, but also part of Spain. And I'm going to quickly hop over and show you the beautiful coastline. This is something we will come back to, this beautiful, beautiful structure. It is one of the, doesn't this remind you of Greece? Of Athens? But yeah, we're going to come back and see this in just 1 minute and get the full view. But I do want to show you where the Mediterranean is in terms of where we are. Here you can see all of these walls that are over 1,000 years old. Here we go. So you can see all of the fruit trees and all of the olive trees. There is a little bit of industrial area back here, but the Mediterranean is just behind that. All right, let's go over to our one of the beautiful squares. We are headed to the Plaza de Armas, which is the Roman addition. And I have to say the ruins are not very well kept. That is something that people have discussed. There are no guides. There are no informative signs, which as a tourist and as someone who is quite interested in history and in this, it's a little disappointing to see, but alas, Robin says the ruins are in ruin. Yes, absolutely, Pauline. Rob, or Robin and Pauline, thank you so much for your tips. Greatly appreciated. Yes, so this is the remains of the Roman Forum here. This is where they would make decisions. This is where people would gather. And look at those, though. I love ruins. I would love to know what your favorite ruins are that you've seen. This castle is a battle-worthy castle. And in fact, it was one of the main reasons that the siege of Sagunto, or at that time it was called Saguntum, happened. It was about 2,200 years ago. My favorite is the Parthenon. Oh, absolutely, Dr. B. I very much look forward to heading to the Parthenon as well. um, this battle was about 2,200 years ago, and it was between Carthage and Rome. So they were the two main powers in the Western Mediterranean at this time. Again, this was in about the 3rd century BCE. So this was quite a long time ago, but still very relevant today. I'm just going to go through this gate here and show you what's on the other side. Here we go. So in terms of the war, it was a series of 3 different wars that happened, which is why we have the Roman Empire that lasted for a very long time, of course. Let's get through this gate. Oh, in case you are hearing me huff and puff, just like yesterday when we were in Cuyera, today in Sagunto, I have climbed about 52 stories, and it is quite the view, but also a lot of huffing and puffing. So I'm sorry you have to be privy to my panting. All right, here is one of the other Republican squares that we have. These are also walled off, so we're not allowed to go over here. So this is about the, oh my gosh, there's another tourist over there. This is walled off. All right, well, good then. What is the symbolism of the clover leaf on the wall? That is part of the more modern additions from after the Romans. We then had the Moors come over in the 7th century, and then after that the Christians, and that was when some of the more modern details and artwork were added. I think this is beautiful. I can't believe there's a whole family, including some older folks over there, who just jumped the wall. See, look, all of these are gated off. Very interesting. All right, let's go back through here. So this town has 65,000 people in it, still quite small. And it's basically split into 2 cities again. Same thing as Cuyera and Gandia, where you can see the modern town, which has, the big apartments, the beaches, the restaurants. But then we also have these old ruins here. You can also see a lot of these the older walls that are, I believe it's about a mile around the mountains here. These were all built during the Muslim rule in the 7th century. So these are also quite old, but still built after the castle was erected itself. All right, so again, this is our Plaza de Armas. This is the main plaza. And now let's go head back over to this beautiful building that reminds me of Athens. Has anyone been to Athens? I'm uh, I'm planning a trip to Athens with my husband in September, and I really look forward. I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, I'll bring you all with me. I feel like I will need more than just a couple days there because there's so much to see. All right, so here we go. It is very windy today. So the ruler who first started this, we had in 219 BCE. That was when all these ruins were first erected, and this guy thought, you know, we don't have any type of currency here, and currency at that point was basically just things that they were trading or bargaining for. But at that point, the ruler James the First of Aragon, he was a he was an intense guy. But we have since found coins from 1,000 years ago, that or 2,000 years ago rather, that were stored with things from James the First of Aragon. So this was ancient buried in ancient. Here is one of our main. It does have lettering on the top of it, but I believe that was more of a restoration. But this building was part of the original Roman construction, and you can see some of these rocks were or are quite old. They used to have columns attached to them. These, and these here as well. And these columns are the modern version, the restoration that we have added. But you can see they're trying to show us like this is where the columns would have been. Very cool. All right. I think this is one of the most beautiful parts. Of course, it is under construction, like everything else in Spain and in Europe. Let me give you one more good view of this. All right, here we go. There we are. So James I, or James the First, he took over in the 1200s. He was the one who the Christian ruler who took over from the Moors, and he took over a lot. He took over Majorca, which is where we were a few weeks ago. He took over Montpellier in France and Barcelona as well. He had one of the longest reigns of any Iberian monarch. So he saw a huge expansion of the empire, which was quite impressive. We are at the very top of the hill now, and let me just give you the beautiful view before we go down just a little bit to see the Roman theater. As we talked about, the Romans took over, and there we go. And they immediately built a theater because that's what you do when you're Roman. And this theater that we are going to have a look at was built in, I believe it was year two, it's either 2 AD or 2 current era or 3 current era, but still 2,000 years ago, quite a long time. It's found on the northern part of this hill, and it was the first official national monument in Spain. So now that we have seen our beautiful view, let's go check it out. Gracias. As we're walking here, I had mentioned earlier that there was a beautiful Jewish quarter In the 1300s, the Jewish population expanded significantly here, and we're going to see a lot of these little sort of caves underneath the rock, like this one here. There we go. This one, and then there are quite a few of them as we continue walking. This is actually a graveyard. This is the official Jewish graveyard. There are about 100 of these little caves here, which I just think is really cool. They are, of course, all blocked off, but when they were originally built, or I guess dug up, there was nothing that was blocking them here. But from what I've read and what I have seen is these little caves are in an L shape. So the entrance is here, but the body goes in and then to the right. Here we go. These are these teeny tiny little entrances. Again, this is the Jewish cemetery. There are about 100 of these little caves all around the castle. Interesting about the L shape, someone says. I agree. This was used by the Jewish community. So at this point, the Jewish community was quite influential. So they could basically say, well, this is what's going to happen. Of course, they're not still used, but they are protected by the Jewish community currently. I think these are so neat. So these are artificial caves. They weren't there originally, but the population sort of dug them. And these are probably some of the best maintained cemetery caves, I guess, that historians have found. And then as you can see, they're all along this wall here. And this wall again was built in the 7th century by the Moors. And then these caves were dug about 500 years later in the 1300s. Very interesting. So after about 100 years, the Jewish folks were not so nicely asked to depart Spain. And at that point, these graves were sort of forgotten about, and no one no one found them until recently. But they were used in the 1930s for soldiers hiding out during the war, and that was one of the main discoveries when the soldiers said, "Hey, wait a minute, there's more than one of these." As you can see, they go all around the castle walls here, which I think is very interesting. All right, we are now going to head down here. I'll give you the view from the top. This is the Roman theater. This was built about 2,000 years ago, shortly after the Romans won the siege of Saguntum, which again was a series of 3 wars in the 2nd century BCE. And this theater was recently restored, which I think it's interesting that we've got this huge, amazing castle here, and they restore the theater. But that, granted, the theater is quite beautiful. So this seats about 8,000 people, and it currently is used to host events and shows and um, political rallies and whatnot. It was restored in the last few years. Thank you, Sharon, for your tips. Greatly appreciated. This more like a reconstruction. Actually, that's a good point. We can see some of the original Roman stones here. I'm staying up here because this is one of the best views I can give you because we're so high. Oops, there we go. So these were some of the original Roman stones, but as you can see here, like the steps are new, a lot of the seating is new, and of course the stage is entirely new, which is, I mean, it's good if you are using the theater, of course, but when this restoration happened in, or I guess reconstruction, as Adrian says, happened in 1994, they did replace a significant portion of the theater itself. All right, let's head down just a little bit. I can give you just a slightly different view. Of course, getting in here is very interesting. This, as I said at the very beginning, basically the whole city is ruins. So, of course, not the part where people are living, but the as soon as you get past the apartments and the beautiful church in the middle, you have all these cemeteries and castles. Well, not castles, but big old buildings, and there's nothing that tells you what they are. So it did take a little bit of searching to figure it out. And also, this up here, this was where we just were. Those were the walls that people are climbing on that they are not supposed to be on. I don't know if you can tell, but people are up there right now. There are a couple signs that say do not climb. But alas, oh well. Yes, it did take a little bit of searching to figure out where and what these things were. But I'm just gonna try and hold this way up high and show you. I'm really hoping you can see in there. But again, this is the Sagunto Roman Theater. And the outside stones here, these are actually the most impressive parts of the theater itself because these were some of the original stones. Um, you can see these used to be little entrance ways here that led up to where people would sit. These are all sort of, they have signs on them that say do not touch, do not run, do not walk on them, but they're not inside the theater themselves, which I think is why they've lasted so long. They uh, they call this an artificial ruin, which I think is interesting. They basically want to show you what it looked like, but not necessarily show you with the original stones. But oh, here is a nice view. As we were talking about these older sort of piles of stones, these are the originals, and I think they don't really want to restore them just because it would be so expensive, and the city is not that they don't have money from tourism, but nothing costs money here. Everything is free. So they don't have a lot of tourist money coming in. If they charged €1 or two even, I think they would be able to significantly restore these parts of the city. But alas, I mean, it is quite nice to not have to pay for some of the entrance fees when, if any of you have ever been to Florence, it seems like you have to pay to take every 3 steps. It seems like you have to pay for something. So it is a little bit nicer to have things where you go, oh, most of the old things are free, which is nice. All right, let's go up and I'm going to give you one more beautiful view and talk about the church just a little bit before I bid you all farewell. Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you do have questions or comments or thoughts or whatnot, do type them out now while we are heading up to this last part of the tour here. Some trees. Oh, here's the beautiful church. There we go. So this is the Church of St. Mary. Oh, thank you so much for your tips, Dr. B and Mary Lou. Much appreciated. The Church of St. Mary here. I actually was in there earlier and I walked in on a wedding. And of course, I didn't mean to walk in on the wedding, but everyone threw rice at me as I walked in the door because they thought I was the bride and groom. And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And they all laughed. So I still have rice all over me, which I'm going to come home and have my cats digging in my bag going, "What is all this? Is this food for us?" But yeah, so this is the Church of St. Mary. It is quite beautiful, and the inside has actually, let me give you a better view of this. There's a clearing up here. There are there are these beautiful stone walls inside with these paintings that I guess they're carvings, but they look like they've been sort of pounded out and then painted on top of, which I think is very interesting. Well, let me back up a little here for you. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, we're on the last part of these mountains here, the Iberian Peninsula mountains, and this is the one of the highest parts of this mountain range um, before the mountain basically ends, and that is why this castle was so fought over because it was one of the best defensive areas that people could find. And as you can see, they can protect the area and see anyone coming who is not coming in peace. You can see them from miles around or kilometers around. And actually, this part here is still part of the castle. Just to show you, it's a little bit difficult to see, but this is also part of the castle. As we were talking about it, the whole castle itself is about 8 blocks long or 800 meters long, and the walls are over a mile. So it really does sort of expand, and you can have yourself a nice little walk. There we go. Which, I mean, of course, it's way up on the mountain, and there are no paths, so you're literally grabbing rocks. It's sort of like hiking. I haven't been hiking too much, but from what I understand, it is it's a little bit like grabbing hold of things to make sure you don't fall. I apologize if the screen is a little shaky. We've got about 30-mile-an-hour winds right now, so my gimbal is doing the best it can. It's hanging in there. But yeah, so the Church of St. Mary is very beautiful, and that was built in the 1300s. We just had Holy Week here last week for Easter, and Holy Week in Sagunto, the traditions go back 500 years. So we've got, again, if you had come to the Gandia tour where we saw the parades of the religious folk in these long costumes with these big, tall, pointy white hats. That is a sign of respect here in Spain. Has nothing to do with race, but that they have a significant history of this tradition that goes back 500 years. So it is quite the event here. All right. Let me just flip this around. Thank you all so much for coming to my tour today. It's nice to see so many familiar faces. Here, let's give you the good view as I say goodbye. So this coming week, I am getting on a plane, which, okay, so the the website called Skyscanner, you can search for your original location, and you can say, I want to go anywhere for the cheapest price. So I found a ticket to Santander for $5. So what is that, like €3? And then I'm going to take a bus to Bilbao, which was like $4, and then take a flight back from Bilbao to Valencia, which was I think $7. I know it blows your mind, doesn't it? So I'm so tickled that I'll be able to take you all with me. So on Tuesday, it is a little bit later, but later in the day, my tour in Santander, and then my two tours in Bilbao. Actually, one will be a little bit earlier because my flight is in the evening. But I just wanted to show you both parts of the city because Bilbao is beautiful, and Santander will be awesome. So Robin says, wow, such cheap prices. Mind blown. I know, isn't it crazy? Great tour. I love ruins. Muchas gracias. Oh, thank you. Have you eaten the ham? Yes. Okay. Beata, I don't know if you were at the tour yesterday in Cuyera, but I got Iberian ham and I was showing it to all of you. Oh, it is so delicious. I got home and my husband said, "Hey, where's that ham that you had on the tour?" And I said, "What ham?" So yes, it was super delicious. Ashlyn says, "Where did you get these earrings?" Oh, fun story. So when we were living in Germany, or in Croatia rather, we were so close to Slovenia that I took a bus over there for a day trip, and actually I got frisked by a bunch of big armed men because they said, "No people come over here just for a day trip. What are you really doing here?" And I said, "I'm here for a day trip to go to your Christmas market." And I mean, they were very nice, but they were very suspicious. And I had this little bag of cereal with me, and one of their like sniffing dogs, very cute, of course, but the dog ate all my cereal, and I was like, dude. So anyway, long story short, as I was going to Slovenia at this market in Ljubljana, there was a woman who made glass earrings. They're Pyrex glass, and I'll get it really close to my face so you can see them. They're Pyrex glass, and I mean, she paints them all. She's the painter, and her husband is the glass maker. And I loved them, and I mean, how original! And I mean, I never found anything like that. Oh, and someone likes my nails. Thank you so much. I do them myself. So greatly appreciated. You all are so nice to me. How rude of the doggy, Jennifer says. I know, but he was so cute, so I couldn't be mad at him. I like your fingernail polish. Thank you, Robin. Thanks, Beata. I'll check out the schedule. Talented. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, you all are so wonderful. All right, thank you all so much for coming. This week I will hopefully have some different nails and different earrings and different places to show you. The flight is skyscanner.com, and you basically say search everywhere. You put in your starting location and you search everywhere, and then you can choose a whole month, and then you can just also say cheapest month, and it'll just take you right to the cheapest month for the cheapest location, which is very cool. Would someone mind actually typing Skyscanner in there? I don't work for them. I just like them. And also, would anyone mind dropping my link to the Hago tours? That would be greatly appreciated. Yes, do follow me. I have gained so many followers in the last few days. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. You're on top of things. Yes, I've gained so many followers in the last couple of days. I feel so cool because this is a new tour thing for me. So I'm very tickled to have all of your follows and all of your reviews and your likes and whatnot. Nails suit the earrings. Oh, I guess you're right, don't they? Well, it's because I'm wearing this skirt, or I guess it is a dress that I got in Mexico, and it does match my earrings. I know it's a little bit hard to tell with all of the layers, but it does match the earrings, so I felt very cool today. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. It is great to see so many familiar faces. Thank you again for your tips, greatly appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you all soon in Santander this week. And then this coming weekend, I have a friend visiting, so I will need to put the tours on hold for this weekend. But the week after that, my husband and I are taking a little belated honeymoon in Malta. So I will be bringing you all with me there. And most of those tours are already up on the website. And then the weekend after that, I don't know if any of you have heard of the Patio Festival in Cordoba, but it's where they have a huge festival and compete for having the best patio design. So there's flowers from just floor to ceiling on these giant patios. I'm going to bring all of you with me for that. Um, I might actually try and do a what do they call it, like a surprise tour or whatnot. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get my my touring folks in the building of the mosque cathedral that they have there. But if I actually let me show you this little tiny squirrel. It's it has a really big fluffy red tail. Does anyone know what kind of squirrel this is? Gosh, it's so cute. It's very small too. I know it's kind of hard to tell how small it is. He's so little. Oh, okay, bye. Of course, all I want to do is go hug him, right? Um, it does look like a rat. You're right. Okay, bye. And some really scary thing yesterday, right after I signed off on my tour from Cuyeta yesterday, there was a black widow spider just hanging out in the middle of that castle that we were in yesterday. So I hot-tailed it out of there. Oh, yes, a little bit scary. So anyway, I'm sorry for all the blabbing. Thank you for sticking around with me and hearing all my chatter. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces and have all your comments and thoughts. Looks like some sort of a tree squirrel. They're always tiny. Yeah, you're right. I was just so taken aback by how red it was. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great week or a great couple days, and hopefully I will see you on Tuesday in Santander. Follow me and leave a review if you would like. I would love to see you all again. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.